So today we're going to continue on with lesson 10.3. Now if you recognize this, this is the notes from yesterday. Remember yesterday we talked about the solutions are where the parabola crosses the x, not the y, the x-axis. So if it was a problem that looked like this, x squared minus 4 equals 0, you'll see it crosses in two places, so that means there's two solutions. Over here, it crosses only in one place, so there's one solution. Remember, when the parabola faced up and it never crossed the x-axis, we discovered that there are no solutions because it never crosses the x-axis. Today, we're doing a similar thing where we're trying to find the solutions, but today, we're not only going to know if there's going to be two solutions, one solution, or no solutions, but we're going to actually find the solutions. All right, so like for example, on this one right here, you can see that the answers, the solutions would be -2 or +2. Let me show you something. If we actually took a look at this and we solve this mathematically, it says x squared minus 4 equals 0. Well, let me solve this without graphing. I could go, so if I have x squared minus 4 equals 0, I could go add 4 to both sides, and I'm bringing down my x squared, so I have x squared equals 4. Okay, now to get rid of a squared, remember you do the opposite, so you square root. So square root it, and we get x equals, now, many of you just want to say 2. True, but look at that only shows this solution. 2 times 2 is 4. True, but what about -2 times -2? Isn't that also 4? That will keep into play right here, the -2. So your answer is actually positive or -2. All right, let's go on to the notes. So in your notes packet, looking right here, Algebra 10.3, solving quadratic equations using the square root. Remember that we can solve an equation, x squared equals a, by finding the square root of each side. Here's your example. If x squared equals 36, remember to solve it, you do the square root of both sides. So x could be either +6 or it could be -6. 6 times 6 is 36, and -6 times -6 is also 36. So this would be your solution. Okay, let's try this one right here. We have 2x squared minus 98 equals 0. So let's add 98 to both sides. Bring down our 2x squared. Still not done. Let's divide both sides by 2 so we can get our x squared. So 98 divided by 2 is 49. Remember, to get rid of the squared, you do the opposite, so square root. And then you get for your solution, 7 times 7 is 49, but so is -7 times -7, 49. So your solution, you're going to have two solutions, and the specific solutions are +7 or -7. Let's try some of these. Solve each equation. So if we have t squared minus 25 equals 0, add 25 to both sides. We have t squared equals 25. There we go. Now square root. T equals a +5 or a -5. So there are your two solutions, +5 or -5. If you were going to graph this, you'd have a parabola that would cross the x-axis in two places. Let's try this one. 3n squared plus 12 equals 12. First, subtract 12 from both sides. Trying to get the n squared by itself. Bring down the 3n squared equals 0. Once again, get the n squared by itself, so divide both sides by 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0. Square root. The only thing times itself that's going to give you 0 is 0. So for this one, there's only one solution. So this is one where your parabola would be touching the origin. One solution is n equals 0. For the next one, solving for the g again. So let's subtract 32 from both sides. I have 2g squared equals -32. divide both sides by 2. We have g squared equals negative 16. Oh no. Square root, what can you square to get negative 16? Any number times itself is going to give you a positive answer. So it's not possible to square root a negative number. So the answer is going to be no solution. It is not going to work. Okay, now on to the real world problem solving. Find the side of a square with an area of 256 meters squared. So to solve this, we know the area of the square is 256. I know to find the area of a square, I'm going to go side squared. Side times side is 256. So if I go side squared equals 256, right? Once again, square root, you get that your answer is 16. Now, for this real world situation, we only had the answer of 16 because would it be possible to have a length of negative 16? No. So you have to make sense of your answer. In this situation, it would only be a positive 16. We're not going to fill in the other examples because I want you to have time to start your homework.